Okay, y'all, so it's 5 o'clock, and I'm going down here to Callaway Gardens. My wife's already down here, like I was telling you guys earlier. And yeah, so I got Sweet Pea with me. I don't know if y'all can see her or not. Anyway, yeah, so that's her. And yeah, man, we're cooking with gas, man, cooking with gas. I hate going somewhere and spending the night, man. I mean, I'd rather be at home, but it's just gonna be easier for us to stay here tonight. So I saw where Chad did a video in response to the contract video that I did, and ideally, I will say, ideally, you want to have 12-month contracts, right? And I do have quite a few of them. Don't get me wrong, but not with homeowners. I have had them with homeowners, and it ain't that I don't do them with homeowners at all. I do, but that homeowner's got to fit a certain criteria, like Chad was saying. Because, and one thing I will push back a little bit on, I do worry about getting beat. I do, especially when it's, like a monthly deal or 3-month pay. I do worry about that, and maybe I worry about that too much. But I live in a preventable kind of world. Well, Ray, why is that? Because with as long as I've been out here, these things have happened to me, and I don't like the way they make me feel when it happens, to be honest. And I would not be doing my due diligence as a business owner if I didn't prevent that, if I could. Now, like Chad said, you're gonna take hits out here, but if you do this long enough. But I learned about the contract thing, and ideally I like to have everybody on a 12-month contract. Everybody, right? I mean, but the reality is that it's too much trouble for me with the homeowners to do it, I'll be honest, that I have. And most of them are on I go twice a month either way. And, ideally you want to have those contracts, right? 12 months out of the year to get money in September, October, November, January, February, right? I mean, and I usually get about 4K a month throughout the winter, no matter what, in regular 12-month commercial stuff that I do. But with the homeowners, I only got a few right now. Only a few, probably about maybe $600 worth. And like I said, ideally, you want to have those contracts. I mean, it really is nice. But with that being said, Chad was saying something like, you don't have to worry about money through the winter. But when you get burned a couple times, you do. I do. I've got burned a couple times on those yearly contracts, and I would not be doing my job out here if I don't prevent that. And the only way to prevent that without it sucking up a boatload of my time is to not do them unless it's a special occasion. I don't go into a new customer offering that. They got to build a rapport with me before I would even consider that, because I'm the one that's going to get beat, not them. So I do worry about getting hit, and I try to prevent it. But when you go into the, Chad was saying, when you go into the winter knowing you got that money coming is great relief, and it is until you run into somebody that don't pay. Well, you're not a guarantee that you're going to get that money. And let me tell you my thinking, and I'm not I love Chad to death. I'm not talking bad about Chad or me or whatever. I'm just saying that what do you do if they don't pay, right? That's been my issue. Well, you got a contract, Ray. Yeah, but again, what do you do if they don't pay? You're not, in my experience, and I agree, it doesn't happen all the time, and you'll probably be fine, but I'm super, super duper wary about residential yearly contracts. Now, if they got a big property, I almost treat it as a commercial anyway, right? So there's that. Also, like Chad was saying in his video, you can, if you're on a yearly contract, then my problem is I can't quit them when I get ready because I'm vested, right? If they can pull anything, they can, and most customers don't, I'll agree, but they can pull any kind of crazy crap, and I got to go with it because I'm, at their whim at that point. And see, that's the problem I have right there. I don't like being at their whim because they could just get straight stupid with me and I'll have to drop them. You don't get the money that way either. So once you go into it and like Trav was saying, sometimes you got to push through and just grit it out to the end of the year. I've done that more than I can count. And, but I don't like being in that spot. I don't like, and this is just, and Chad is probably going to start seeing some of the same thing. As my business has evolved and my age has evolved, right? I mean, the reality is you're going to get older. So I knew that when I was 35. So I've been preparing since then, since I started this business. But I have prepared the business in a way to where as the business has evolved, and I've learned a lot along the way when it comes to labor and work and how to manage time and all that. My biggest thing, as I get older, is I don't want to cut grass in the winter. I don't want to have to continue to go to the properties, even though it's easy. I still don't want to. I'm not looking for yearly contracts. I guess. I mean, when I look at it like that, I guess. Well, okay, yeah. You see what I'm saying? And I went years and didn't have no problems doing that. But it's in my area. By the time we get to freaking November, December, and the leaves are all cleaned up, I don't want to be on the properties, man. I don't. And so, and I've evolved the business in a way to where I can go do something different. Instead of still going to Miss Johnson's yard every 2 weeks, I might have 10 on that route. 11 counting Miss Johnson. Well, now I got to drive all the way over there on that route to go to Miss Johnson's house once a month or twice a month or whatever our agreement is for the yearly deal. And I think to myself, damn, I need to get all 9 of them. If all 9 of them are like that, then, oh man, that's, $1,000 a day. But they never are. I can't never get it to match up like that. Where I go on a route, it might be a lucrative route, but then when it comes wintertime, they don't want to do it. And all my contracts that I have with homeowners is verbal stuff. Now with HOA, and I only do one HOA, and it's not a 12-month deal, it's a 9-month deal, and with the commercial people, I have contracts, all the details of what we're supposed to do. And I continue to go to them, enough to get, like I said, around $4,000 a month, just, on the commercial stuff all throughout the year. Well, $4,000 a month for a businessman, that ain't no. Yeah, but that's what I'm getting on, like the monthly year-round stuff. All through the winter, I'm getting that by default. And like I said, I've evolved and grown the business in a way to where I can do things that make a lot more money than lawn maintenance or going to Miss Johnson's lawn for, even on the high end, $120 in the wintertime. Even if it doesn't need it, I go. But I'm less and less likely to keep doing that because I can do other stuff. And that's a critical point that Chad did not mention. Is me, guys like me, and I'm assuming guys like Chad and Irv, I'm assuming that us guys all think pretty much alike. We want the repetitive money and the top dollar money. We're not going to give up $100 property to go do a $20 property, in other words. We're always going to, and during the winter, there's a lot more money everywhere else than mowing. And because, well, I mean, the numbers show that mowing is at the bottom of the landscaping industry. Now, that don't mean that's not a bad thing, because I do a whole lot of mowing. And the only ones that make top dollar are the ones that are super efficient with their time. That's the only way that I make top dollar out there mowing grass is volume, and managing my time. But if I got a choice in the wintertime after I've been mowing grass for 8 months, and the money goes from, say, $20,000 a month to $8,000 a month, but it's still sucking up the time of where I should be at $15,000 a month. You see, that's what ends up happening when I do 12 months, because everybody's not doing it. And it puts me way out there where I'm barely making anything. And I always made ends meet pretty good doing that, right? I'm making money doing that, but I ain't making like I'm supposed to. Not like I do if I don't have to do that. Not like I do if I'm on a regular route, a regular 12, 15-yard route. And Chad does work longer hours than me. So, I would be so burned out. But like I said earlier, Chad's a lot younger than I am. So, and I know, and by the mere fact that he bought the stand-on skid, he is evolving too. Because there's going to come a point in time where he's probably going to get out of the mowing, because at the end of the day, the mowing is just a stepping stone to other stuff. If you want to continue to make top dollar, because the mowing is so busy work. It's busy work, and there's so much that can go wrong. And the older I get, the less I want to do all that. I don't mind doing the big commercial stuff and all that, but I don't want to do the $60 lawns. That's not the right way to say it. It ain't that I don't want to do it. I just ain't chasing that kind of work when I got a skid. And, you got to be able to project a little bit into the future. Me having the skid has made it where I don't have to worry about that aspect of the lawn maintenance. When the summer's over, I'm good. Just saying. When the summer's over, I'm done with it. I don't even want to be on. But there's a lot of other stuff to do on the properties. Now, if all you did was mow and trim bushes, then you're gonna probably run out of work if you don't have 200 customers. See, Chad has so many customers, but that's a big responsibility for him. And he's 40 years old. So and he's been doing it a long time. He's been doing it as long as me, and he's damn near, and he's 20 years younger than me, 15 years younger than me. And he's been doing it longer than I have. And, you know, I'll be the first to say that the way I do things out here, it's not for everyone, you know? And, you know, it's probably not the perfect business model to scale either. You gotta be a realist and look in the mirror. You gotta, you know. But everybody ain't built for scaling. And you don't know that until you try it. You know, I ain't built for that. I mean, the employee thing has just gotten me so discombobulated that I'm good, you know. But we all manage things in a different way. If everybody would jump on for 12 months, well, I would be more inclined to hire guys to do those properties in the wintertime. But that's just a headache for me. It always has been, right? I don't know, but I know that the times that I've gotten burned, and the thing is, we can talk about contracts all day long. If somebody breaks the contract, we ain't doing nothing about it. Nothing that ain't gonna cost us. When, you know, and Chad ain't doing monthly and yearly with everybody, and he'll be the first to tell you that, I know, because it takes a special customer for me to do that, residential. And I want to say I got 2 or 3, and I really don't even like that no more, because I'd rather focus my energy on other stuff. And there's still, you know, like I said, if everybody's not doing yearly contracts, then I don't want none on residential, or at least on that route, right? It's hard to make people do that, though, in my area. It's hard to look somebody in the face and cut their grass right now. And if we don't get no rain for another week or two, then the next rotation is really going to be hard. And then there's some point in time, at least, and I can't speak for everybody, there's some point in time where the customers start looking at you sideways. You coming and charging them, and even though they made a deal, I get it. You got a contract. I get it. But they gonna feel a certain type of way if they have to keep paying you and you're not even having to do anything. I mean, that's been my experience. And that though they might not fire you, and though they might not say nothing to you, the next year they might not be your customer anymore. Well, good, Ray. That's what's supposed to happen. Well, yeah, but you don't know that's going to happen. The biggest thing, one of the biggest things with doing this kind of work and doing the high volume to make top dollar is I like knowing when a customer's going to quit me. I don't like surprises at all in any aspect of the business. I like to build, you can't always do that. I get that. But going into the summer thinking you've got, 20, 25 grand a month, only to find out that you only got, 12 or 15. Because you forced the customer to pay you when you wasn't coming, and if no, you didn't force them, Ray. We didn't force them to pay us during the winter. They signed a contract. Yeah, but just something, part of me just says, man, if the customers will do it, cool. But if one or two don't, it ain't worth the headache for me. But again, Chad's been doing it a lot longer than me. He's got more experience than I got. But Chad also Chad also probably has more expenses than I got. So he's got to have more work. He's got to have more customers. And you've got to work longer hours if you don't have no damn help, you know. That's a big responsibility if you ask me. See, my overhead is really small for the money that I make. And that enables me to, you know, not have to work really late every day. But, you know, it also makes me have to be sassy with my money on the other end. It also makes me have to hustle up work with the skid. It also makes me have to manage the money that I do make in a sassy kind of way. I used to work really long hours just like Chad. I'd be working, man, I'd be splitting wood till 10 o'clock at night. And as I've gotten older, I've you know, learned to make every move count, you know, make every dollar mean something, right? I don't think that I could do the workload that Chad does. I mean, you know, I know that I would have to work a lot longer because no matter how efficient you are, you know, to get to, you know, the kind of money that you need, it can be taxing for you. Anyway, big shout out to Chad over there for, you know, putting the video out, talking about it. This is how we learn, you know. And he did make a couple of good points, though. You know, especially, you know, talking about the money. You know, Chad, they don't like us talking about the money, man. I don't know why. They don't like us talking about the money, man. I don't know why. Because I want to know what you charge, and just like people want to know what I'm charging. And if he's making 50 grand a month, and I'm making 20 grand a month, and we got the same customer, what am I doing wrong? Or what's he doing right? I mean, it's a perfect analogy, just like Chad was saying. So, can't get your butt hurt looking in the mirror, you know. I used to get my butt hurt a lot easier than I get now. These days I don't worry about it because I'm secure in who I am, what I'm doing, and where I'm at in my life. I'm good, you know. And I got a sweet pea right here. Let me get right. Well, don't stay there, darling. About another 30 minutes. But I've had customers on the yearly thing, and I'm not, you know, I'm just trying to fill the time in while I'm driving. I've had customers on the yearly thing, contract thing. Just, I mean, dude. I mean, where I lost. Well, I had one that was $600 a month. They fired me at the end of August. So you do the math. I lost 4 months of money. And I would have been doing the property at I probably would have been doing the property at, I don't know, $850 a month, something like that. And they said I was doing it for $6, something like that. I can't remember the exact numbers. I lost September, October, November, and December, and they usually give me a little extra in December for Christmas. Lost all that. 4 months at $600, $2,400, and that was when I didn't have the business that I have now. It was a shock to me, but it was a big account, you know. But even the ones I got now, they're not big like that. A couple $100 a month, you know. I'm talking about residential. When I'm speaking about contracts and not liking them, and it's not the basic concept of contract 12 months out of the year. Oh, I love that concept. Oh yeah, I like making money, and that's a money maker. But the reality is, it ain't worked out for me. It just hasn't. So, anyway, I'm gonna turn the camera off, let it cool down. Looks like it's get hot. Big shout out to Chad, Herb, and all you guys. I wonder where Randall is. Holla at me, Randall. We'll see y'all.